What's something that you think they should change in schools to protect our kids?
Keeping politics out of education. Kids are there to learn.
Yeah.
Teach them valuable skills. Let's think a little bit outside of the box. It's 2025. These kids can go learn about real estate and about investing on YouTube and stuff.
When you're hiring a professional for something, you're hiring them for a reason.
I just don't think a lot of people are meant to be investors and entrepreneurs. I think most people are meant to be employees. I'm making way more than I was as a teacher. I was making more than I was before I hired employees. Cool as cucumbers, man. We are in a different country, but our businesses still operate in the mainland. There are not a lot of business owners that could take 3 days off and fly to Tulum and listen to other business owners who are also taking 3 days off. You're too involved in your business. You can't sell your business.
If you fucking die tomorrow, in 2 days, everything is back to normal. Like, it was like you didn't even exist.
The councilmen are trying to make the lower class super jealous of the upper class. And in reality, 81% of short-term rentals are owned by San Diegan citizens. Confidence in loving yourself. Usually people will end up loving you too.
We all get the same 24 hours. So why is it that some people build so much more with them? I'm Brian Coons, and this is the Builder Nation podcast, where we talk to top performers, entrepreneurs, and visionaries to uncover the architecture of a meaningful and fulfilling life. Let's get into it. Welcome to another episode of the Builder Nation podcast. Today, I got my boy, Billy Perez, and I want to say the average small business spends over 10% of all their profit on marketing, yet 68% of those people admit that they don't even know what those metrics are or how it works. Yet you don't have that problem. You went to over 50 doors of Airbnb management, all from seemingly word of mouth. That's something that I think is very understated, and that's not the only business you have. Vending machines, you have a lot going on right now. And so I really want to unpack that. Let's start there. Tell me, what is the best way that somebody can get word of mouth business?
I think being your authentic self, showing up to events as many as you can, as many as possible. When I started my business, I had like 10 doors that I was managing. 5 of those were like my own properties that I was either arbitraging or that I currently own. And so really it was like 5 properties managing on behalf of clients. So I had a very small book of business, a little bit of experience, but I just showed up and was like, yeah, this is what I'm doing, Airbnb management, was just kind of obsessed with it. And I was like the annoying friend of the small business and just was talking about it. I mean, if you showed up to real estate meetups, there are real estate meetups in every major town, every major city. You will find them in LA, in New York, Florida. It doesn't matter where you check. You will find them on meetup.com, Facebook groups. It doesn't matter. Go and show up to these places. I mean, go to like real estate open houses where there's like 2 or 3 agents and just like introduce yourself. I've gotten leads from doing that. No joke. I mean, that you show up and you just have a smile on your face and you're willing to put everything on the line for that handshake and that contact. Mm-hmm. People respect it. And I mean, I would respect it if someone came up to me and really wanted to talk about their business. So just be obsessed, be into it, just spread the word, and it'll start to snowball. People will refer you out if they like working with you. I think like 40% of my business is from current clients or friends.
That's
crazy.
Insane. You're hitting on something really important, is the obsession of what you do, because I think one of the most important things is if people don't know what you're doing or they don't associate you with a single thing, there's no way that you're not going to be top of mind. You know, when somebody says, think of toothpaste brands, what are the ones that come to mind? And Crest are normally the two. Those are like, they monopolized an industry. And so when you become the Airbnb guy, it's a no-brainer when somebody in your sphere they have business for you, they give it to you. And I think that's really important.
But if someone was like, one of my buddies was like, hey, I just started a toothpaste brand. It's all organic, all natural. I'm going all in. I would buy their toothpaste from them only, strictly them. Yeah. I would have my family members do it. I'll tell all my friends, I'm like, this stuff's great. And it's the same price as Colgate, but it's locally sourced and it's from San Diego.
Right.
That's my point. There are plenty of Airbnb companies out there that you might know. Big box names, Marriott, Vacasa, CasaGo. There's just these big companies that people know that are in the STR space. At the end of the day, if they know your name, they remember you, they remember that interaction, that's going to be dollars in your pocket just because you met them and took the time to get to know them.
Yeah. And then that's something too, where there's a theory going around right now that I really, really buy into. It's that a lot of big business is going to get taken away from founder-led businesses. Wild part is like most of those businesses don't need to be huge. You don't need a lion's share of the market share. You need a tiny little sliver for you to live a better life than you could ever dream. And so being the Crest or Colgate of your market in your niche is so invaluable.
Oh yeah. It's crazy. I have competitors, obviously, and I know them, and I've had coffee with them, and they are friends of mine. They manage about 60 properties. The other one manages about 80. I manage about 50. We don't see each other as the enemy.
Right. You're not competitors. You're in the same space. But I mean, how many Airbnbs are there in San Diego alone?
Like 10,000.
Yeah. So like, no, I don't care how much you try and grow, you're not going to get that many.
Yeah. We could each have 300 and still only manage like 5% of the entire market. Like it doesn't matter. But having that many properties makes you very wealthy.
Yeah, like there's so many ways where people in I have people in similar ADU industry, and it's it's really not. I'm like, dude, like there's so much knowledge to go around. There's so many people that need our individual help that in building their ADU. That I'm like, I cannot in any way think that I can service every single one of those people anyway. Yeah. So just having your little pocket of the industry is really I think that's invaluable.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
How do you engineer a business that is the word of mouth company to go to?
How do you engineer a business that is the word of mouth company to go to?
Yeah, like is it premium? Is it do you go premium? Do you what do you do? I know you said showing up to stuff, but like how somebody can refer you, and I've experienced this before where there's a company that is the word of mouth company. They did a great fucking job marketing, but their service wasn't that great. So, you can be a word of mouth company if your marketing and business development is on point for a short period of time.
I think we grew as quickly as we did because we didn't label ourselves as like ultra luxury, and we didn't label ourselves as only houses with pools, 4 bedrooms and above, right? We kind of took everyone on. I was kind of like the vacation rental manager whore, where I just took every
Swiss
property.
Army knife. The Swiss Army manager.
Yeah, I just took everyone. And we're a little more selective now. Obviously, like if somebody approaches us and they're like, my ADU needs management, can you take? I'm like, no, probably not take care of that. But we're a little more selective now. But at first, and that's how I got to 50, I just took everyone. I was like, anyone that needs a property to manage, as long as it will make us $500 a month in revenue, like we would take it on. And so our criteria is a lot bigger now because I have employees to take care of. I have software fees. So like we can't take on, we won't make any money at $500 a month on a property. Right. I think our brand at first, the word of mouth worked so well because we were willing to take anyone. We were a community service. We were willing to help and assist anybody, whether that's a 2-bedroom property in North Park or you're a 3-story house in Mission Beach. That's just 2 examples. Like we would help anybody. And I think that's what people loved, that we were willing to step in and assist people, even if they weren't making $10,000 a month. We were still like, hey, you're just as important to us as any other property in our portfolio. We're going to take care of you.
I like that. That was the important part there is you don't treat anyone differently when they aren't inherently as valuable. You treat, because those are the people, the ones where they've looked for somebody, they could not find the right person, that those are going to be your biggest constituents. So I think that, I don't want to call it pro bono work, but I think that a level when you're growing a pro bono work, like I'm looking, I'm working on my community and working on my sales funnel and getting people in at a discounted rate just to show your quality of service, get the testimonials and things like that is probably one of the best things you can do.
Totally.
So what part of the service is something that people can't stop sharing about your company?
I don't know. I don't have like concrete, arbitrary, like Billy does pricing so well. Or Billy's marketing is so great. I think our systems are really good. We have specific people that take care of important tasks. So like I have someone that does all our accounting and our owner statements so that the owners get a clear idea of what they made, why it costs this much to do X, Y, and Z, etc. The way we set up our listings, we don't just post iPhone photos, right? We hire and pay for really nice pictures so that the owners and their listings do really well and are successful. All of our properties do very well. They're all very, very highly ranked on the algorithm and SEO of Airbnb. So I think we just provide a good service, a good quality. We're not like extremely selective. Like we will help you if you have a single family home that needs management. So we're accessible. We're very clear, transparent with what we do, and our clients are happy.
I love that. We talked about something in Tulum, right? And it was a really good question to ask. Is you were mentioning, what amenities do you put in an Airbnb to add value?
Yeah, I mean, we suggest most of the same to each client. We suggest that hot tub in San Diego. I think 45% of Airbnbs have a hot tub, and those properties do significantly better than the other 55%. Just in terms of value of average nights booked, average nightly rate. If you got a hot tub, man, everyone from children to old people will sit in that tub and soak their nuts all night, dude. They love the tubs. So they really do. I love a hot tub, dude.
And honestly, we went to ones and we've been, we were excited to go and we didn't even end up using the hot tub half the time. Like it's like, you just want to go because you think you just love the hot tub.
When you're on vacation, you're like, You go to San Diego, there's so much to do here that like by the time you get home, you're like, oh, do we even want to go in? It's kind of a hot, the hot tub time machine expression. You sit in that tub and you're in there for hours and it just floats by. But it's a great place to like communicate with family. Like if you have like an awkward family dynamic, you put people in the tub with a glass of wine. It's great. It's so much better than like sitting around the living room. Like, because if you're in the living room, you're going to throw on a movie most likely, right? If you're in the kitchen, you're all eating, you're all taking care of stuff. But if you guys go in a hot tub, there's no screens out there. You don't want to be playing a movie out there. You're going to be enjoying conversation with your family, with friend groups. It's the ultimate blender. It just brings everyone together.
What are some unique amenities that you can add to your Airbnb to add value?
Ooh, I have a couple of clients that have like speakeasies, like these secret little rooms, and people rave about them on reviews. And we didn't like design them or encourage them. They just came like that when we took on their really nice properties. And we're like, these are sick. Like, what a great idea. Everyone should have a speakeasy. And I'm sure a handyman could do it for not that much, a couple $1,000 and just like throw it into like your drywall. It's for kids, like they're tiny. Oh, wow. But they have at one of our properties in North Park, there's a Harry Potter speakeasy, which I'm like, that's sick. Like, let's target that. Let's put that in like the 6th photos. People see that and they're like, oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm sure. And that probably helps too, like on the other side. So you have the clients obviously bringing you properties, but then you have the people that see your properties and they have these unique things and they probably would either refer it to a friend or they'd come back and visit.
Yeah. Things to be memorable with. I think amenities where they're like photo worthy, like people want to take pictures in, like really nice pools. I have a property that I own personally in San Diego that has a mural. It's a really beautiful bear. It's this exact bear on my head and people take pictures in front of it and send it to us.
That's amazing. So how do you, from the perspective of your systems, right? Like you would think that taking on whatever clients, like in the beginning, just whoever you could get could add chaos. So how have you prevented chaos when you've been growing so fast?
I think just hiring the right people and not being afraid to hire them.
Who's the right people for something like this?
I just hired a full-time operations manager 2 weeks ago, and he's taken a ton off my plate. So much so where I'm filling my days with stuff like this, like just marketing, social media, meeting with people, spreading the word.
What does operations look like, when you're looking for somebody to hire like that? So 2 questions. How do you explain the job that you're looking for? And then what does the compensation structure for something like that look like?
So I explain the job as this. For now, with our size, you're the boots on the ground, you're the quality control, you're the person that's actually at these Airbnbs, making sure that they're high quality 5-star experiences. There's too many properties in the portfolio for me to go to I couldn't even do 3 a day. I would be exhausted and there wouldn't be an availability because most of the properties are all available on the same day because they're vacation rentals. So they're all available Friday morning, right? And I'm like, oh, I can't go to 10 homes. That's going to take me way too long. So he is the boots on the ground that's getting into these homes, getting his eyes on the sheets, on the bathrooms, making sure there's no hairs lying around, making sure the cleaners are doing their job. And he's doing the jobs that I don't like doing. And he knows that. I'm like, hey man, I hate going to these properties sometimes. It's not in our contract that we have to, but it's implied, right? You're a vacation rental management company. You should be on the boots on the ground.
Yeah, eyes on the property.
So now we're guaranteeing that. And it's great. It's an amazing guarantee. I can throw that into our marketing, et cetera, et cetera. Compensation, he's starting out pretty low. However, he's 21. He didn't go to college. So he is entering into this is his first full-time salary job. So I'm like, hey man, show me you can do this. And I promise you will be compensated fairly. I promise you we'll talk about equity. We put it in writing. I'm like, let's do a year of you at this job. Build out this operations manager role because I can see you as VP of operations in a year. Show me you can do that. Build out this role so that you can train someone to do this job and a property manager job. Build 2 roles for me. Do them both. And then let's hire 2 people in a year. Yeah. You know what I mean? We're so young and early in the stage. This business is only 18 months old. A year from now, I want you to go and seek and hire 2 people below you. Yeah. And then create that tree, create that trust and implement that into his mind so that he has something to work for. He's not just going to be an employee at 23 an hour or whatever we're paying him for the rest of his life, right? There's upward trajectory. I'm talking about equity. I'm talking about him helping me with sales and growing this business. There's a lot in store for him.
Yeah. I think you just touched on something really, really important is you can have one person, if they are the right person and they like the things that you don't like doing, there are so many roles that they can fill in the beginning. So the last company that I worked at, we built out our organizational chart and it was a pretty big chart. But the way you build out an org chart is you don't build it out by the person. You keep names off of it. You build out the roles for the company. So videographer, social media manager, Airbnb cleaner, operations or accounting person, all these roles. And then you fill out the tasks of each one and then you have the person at the end, right? And it's because they can move out of a role. And that's something that I'm doing right now. It's funny you mentioned that. It's the exact thing. I have somebody who's, she's helping me with marketing operations, scripting videos, editing videos, and also on the development company side, she's helping me with managing 8 properties and permitting and SDG&E and all these things. And It's like, she's not going to be there forever, but she's going to build out the processes. And I think that that's something really important, is like hiring the right person and building out a process, because they're going to do it better than you. It's, it's one thing to get referrals, but it's another to handle them. And so with these properties now, what are some of the things that have changed from being a small operator of a couple to now having a business?
I already mentioned being more selective, but we don't have commission breath anymore. I'm not calling these guys begging for their business. If they call me, I'll send them some comps. I'll talk to them for 30 minutes on the phone. But I'm not really following up with them like 3 times a week for 2 weeks until the sales cycle dies. If they want our services, they want to work with us, they know what we can provide, they know what we charge, and they'll come to us. So I think that that's how we've evolved a little bit. We're not as desperate as we used to be, and it's like a real business now. Like, it's a relationship. If their property is going to make sense for us and it's going to fit into our portfolio, it'll make sense and it'll be meant to be, and they'll reach out and we'll make a deal happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that makes a lot of sense. I think that once you get the proof of concept, you can't just, I don't even want to say you can't keep growing at the same rate, but you need to, I think, deep dive into who are the clients we have that we really like. Like, who's our ICP, our ideal client profile? That's like one of the biggest questions. Is the more you have the ideal client, the easier it is to scale. And you think about how easy are they to work with, right? Like, how much do they text you and say, why is that? Or that, hey, did you clean the hot tub this week?
We got a couple.
For an Airbnb owner, for you, what are some red flags and green flags?
Green flags are that they're going to be hands off, that they tell you they're going to be hands off, and that their property operates as a passive investment for them. It is not their world. It's not their first home, and they're curating it and you're taking it over, right? So if they're true investors, which we want to work with true investors, that's my ideal. That's my green flag right there. A red flag is somebody that warns you after they sign that they're going to be involved and they like to be hands-on. Typically people that are retired or don't have a job is a red flag for us, or that they were managing it prior and still don't have like something to occupy their time. Yeah. Because that means they're going to be checking in with us a lot. They're going to be bored, and they're going to be looking for reasons to put some excitement in their day. And yes, that includes like, hey, I checked the Ring camera and I noticed your cleaners were only outside for 5 minutes. It's like, you watched it for 5 minutes? It's the middle of the workday. What do you mean? Like, why are you watching us? It does feel a little bit like a violation of privacy and for how we do things. And I'm like, you have all 5 stars. This is our quality is working. Whatever we're doing is working.
Yeah.
So let's relax. So just navigating those different personalities. There's so many people, right? We manage, I think we have 35 unique owners across 52 properties. Yeah, it makes sense because a couple of our clients have 3 or 4. So managing those personalities and expectations is important.
You're hitting on something really important. Is if you think about any industry, I'll use like construction, for example, right? Like, you have the full service construction companies. They have their own managers, their own accounting, their bookkeeping. They're locked in, they're dialed, they have their managers. And then you have the guys that are like, you're chasing them every day you're hurting them, you're taking care of them. And it's the DIY type person and the done for you type person. There's some people that just they care about every dollar. They care about like exactly their way and things like that. And so for that person, like a better fit for them on the service provider side is generally the person that's not as good, because they can manage them. They can get them along, where if you have an undeniable product and you're fucking good at what you do, you actually should be attracting maybe after the first few to get the proof of concept and the testimonials. You should only be going after the people that, like you said, you now have something they're looking for. They're looking for that service. They're busy making their money in their other jobs. A lot of people right now are using the Airbnbs for tax write-offs. So you have people ripping $500,000, $1 million a year plus in jobs, and like they just need they just want the income. They're like, bro, I just don't even want to think about this.
We love those clients.
Yeah. How do you find those types of clients?
We've actually had a couple people like that have found us through our website and Yelp more recently. We didn't really spend much money on that. I mean, I think we just tinkered with the SEO. Our Yelp page, I think for like 1 month, for 30 days, they like really promoted it for free. And we got like a couple clients from that. It was really cool. So that was kind of like where we found like investor clients like that. Because they like, when you're an investor and you don't want to be hands-on, you're not super like, I think they just saw our company showed up first and we're the first person they called. That's just how it is sometimes.
Yep.
They could have called the other 3 competitors and maybe like whoever picked up first is who they would have decided on.
Yeah.
So being ready for those calls is important.
That makes a lot of sense. Hey guys, if you're a business owner, high income earner, or investor who's been thinking about getting into real estate development but don't have the time to manage the process, this is for you. My company partners with people like you to help unlock the potential of your properties or even source and manage new small scale development projects. We manage hundreds of ADUs and infill development projects across Southern California, and our team knows how to simplify the process so you can benefit from the upside without managing contractors, permits, or design headaches. Whether you want to develop your own property, explore ways to offset taxes, or just learn how the development model works, head to thebuildernation.com/partner. That's thebuildernation.com/partner, and see how we can help you build more with the same 24 hours. Now back to the show. And so moving a little bit now, so I want to get into a little bit, you're now in Airbnb, but you weren't always in Airbnb. You were in the vending machine space.
Yeah, that was always a side hustle.
You dabbled, the side hustle. What were you doing during that time?
I was a full-time teacher when I started my vending machine.
Full-time
business.
Spanish teacher, right? Yeah. So, explain to me that transition of when you went from full-time Spanish teacher with a side hustle, completely unrelated. It's not even like you were Airbnb arbitraging. Like,
no.
You moved into this. How do you take me through that process?
Like, take you from beginning of my professional career to
what was the point where you were like, fuck this, I don't want to do this anymore as a Spanish teacher?
I think when I realized the more time you put in does not equal more money, I was frustrated with that. And I'm like, I'm too competitive. I'm too much of a go-getter to be comfortable with this. And I think a teaching job is more about passion and less about what you can get out of it. You're not going into teaching and education for you.
Yep.
You're going in because you care about kids. You care about the next generation, which I do. I still teach a class at Point Loma Nazarene. I love it. I still love education.
Yeah.
I would love to be involved in a school board someday, or even to just help out with local laws about education and protecting our kids and all that stuff, right?
What's something that you think they should change in schools to protect our kids?
I mean, without making this political, but keeping politics out of education. Kids are there to learn. I don't care. We don't need to know what you believe with your purple hair about how kids should feel about themselves, right? We want education to be about learning and not about what goes on in your bedroom. So I think you can assume what I'm referring to at that point with me saying that. So I just want a very, very clear and cut education system that protects our kids and protects what's going on in their minds and just teaches them.
Yeah.
Teaches them valuable skills, not just about math and social studies and our history, but also let's think a little bit outside of the box. It's 2025. These kids can go learn about real estate and about investing on YouTube and stuff, but let's show them some nuggets in school too. Yep. Let's get an hour a day of teaching these kids about credit, teaching these kids about how to apply for a mortgage, how to apply for a car loan. I mean, should a 19-year-old go get a car loan, right? When he's in college? No, but he can. Yep. So the problem is he's not educated about it.
Yeah.
You can put $3,000 down with a kid with no income and you can drive out of the lot with a $50,000 car. That's not good, but those kids don't know any better.
No, they say, oh, I got it's an 18% interest rate or something. Actually, they don't even say that. They're just my car payment is X. They don't even know that
it's $1,000 a month, but I make $1,500 a month as a cashier, so it's perfect. I get $500 a month after I pay my car payment. I'm like, dude.
Yeah. No, it's really interesting. Because I'm in school right now. I'm going to school using my GI Bill, and
sick.
I had a conversation with a kid. He's 21 years old, last week, and it was about AI. And he was telling me he actually doesn't really like AI because he's like, yeah, man, I wish I was born 10 years ago because I'm competing against so many of these entry-level jobs being taken away by AI. And for me, I'm like, well, I'm almost 10 years older than you. And I can tell you that I am so happy that AI is around because I now have so much more ability to be more efficient. And so I was trying to tell him dude, there's so many ways that you can leverage AI. Because I'm AI is not it's not taking away your jobs. It's just creating the ability for the upper threshold of people to be more efficient and take more market share.
Exactly.
It's it's one of those things where,
it's the next great revolution, man. It's going to be awesome.
So how are you looking at potentially using or currently using AI in your Airbnb management business?
We use it probably 8 hours a day, and it just operates when we're all asleep. Answers questions from midnight to 8 a.m.
Really? Do you have an AI agent working on that?
It's just an AI. Yeah, it's an AI software called HostBuddy AI, and it just answers all the questions. It answers them really well too.
Really?
We get a lot of inquiries at 2 a.m. I don't know why.
That seems to be when people are drunk and
yeah, maybe. I don't know what's going on, but in the middle of the week, we get a lot of inquiries at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. when I'm not hiring anyone to take over those times. So they ask questions how far is the hospital from this place? How far is this? What is the nightly rate for 4 nights? The AI can handle all of it. It can calculate things. It can do everything. So.
That's insane. And was that a custom made thing, or is that just a software that
you create the SOPs?
Okay. What does that look like? How do you create an SOP?
You just upload a document of what common questions and answers to those questions.
Okay.
It's easy.
That's amazing.
Host Buddy AI. If you have an Airbnb and you can't be there 24/7, which none of us can, Host Buddy AI for a really low price will take care of all those answers. Yeah.
Are there any other what other softwares or anything are you using in your company?
We use like all the ones that most businesses use, like Stripe and QuickBooks, and we have a property management software called Guesty. We use Airbnb, VRBO, Booking.com, our direct booking website, everything, Slack for our internal. I mean, software stuff's, everyone can, there's so many different ones.
Right. Yeah. The tech stack's always like, that's something that I didn't realize when I was getting into my own business was how thoughtful you have to be about the tech stack. It's expensive and it can be redundant if you're not careful, and it can start to stack up, and you can't, it's passwords and management of those. And now you're overpaying because you could use this thing for this other thing.
Yeah.
And that's something that I don't think people talk about enough is all these like little details of owning a business.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, software is important though. So it's a necessary expense.
Yeah. So what are some things that you're currently working on getting rid of in your business to improve?
Probably just problem clients that don't make a lot of money, and just cutting those away when we're ready to move on from them.
How do you have those conversations?
A lot of times they initiate it, which is funny. It's like the clients that do the least amount of revenue for you usually have the most problems and questions for you. So when they're like, I want to terminate my contract early, how do I do it? And I'm like, no worries, we will terminate it next month. They're like, thank God, I didn't have to have this conversation with you. It's so funny how like the people that make us the most money, their properties that generate the most revenue, we never hear from. But the people that are making pennies on the dollar, they're the ones with all the issues and phone calls. And so it's...
Yeah, I think it makes sense. Like you have these people that, they're getting in their own way, I think. And a lot of people I don't think understand that is, when you're hiring a professional for something, you're hiring them for a reason, where the more you're in their shit, the more that they're going to have to spend their time working with you rather than working on the business to improve. How you do one thing is how you do all things. So if somebody is micromanaging and bogging things down, they're probably not really focused on creating the most value. I think a lot of times.
I just don't think a lot of people are meant to be investors and entrepreneurs. I think most people are meant to be employees.
Why do you think some people are just meant to be employees?
And there's nothing wrong with that. I think Alex Hormozi says it pretty well. Like if your goal and your drive is to make 150 a year and just like be in your lane and work your 9 to 5 and have weekends off, like awesome, you've made it. That's great. You don't have to worry about anything else. Some people think that they're bigger than that and that they want to do other things and they don't have the personality for it. They're too type A, they're too anxious, and they get into these entrepreneurial ventures and they're like, why am I not enjoying this? Why am I working 70 hours a week for $700 a week in profit? Like this isn't worth it to me. It's like, because you're not cut out for this. And I know some people like that that are trying the entrepreneurial way and it's not working.
Yeah.
And I need to have the conversation with them and be like, look, dude, like you need to go and work. You need to work and you need to make money and save money on your own. Keep your expenses low, keep your revenue normal, high, get a salary and just work, save up some money and have a down payment for another small business later in the future. Do something else later. But for 5 years, get in the trenches, do it Dave Ramsey style and just save some money. And then let's talk again in 5 years. Because you need to go from type A to type B. If you're a type A business owner, you're going to stress yourself out. You're going to have panic attacks. Like, how everyone that we were in Tulum with, like Rich and Mikey, you and me, like cool as cucumbers, man. We are in a different country, but our businesses still operated in the mainland. There are not a lot of business owners that could take 3 days off and fly to Tulum and enjoy and listen to other business owners who are also taking 3 days off and calmly and quietly listen to them and take notes. That doesn't happen all the time. There are thousands of entrepreneurs that will never do that because they don't know the value. They don't understand the value. They think they're alone in it. They don't think there's an entrepreneur community. They're dead wrong. They just believe like, oh, every day is a grind until I sell this company, if I can sell it. But what they don't know is that if you're too involved in your business, you can't sell your business. If you are the business, you're not selling it. No. What are you thinking? You need to delegate. You need to get out of your business. You need to work on your business, not inside of it.
Yeah.
You need to be able to go to Tulum, drop a couple grand and party with people that are doing bigger things than you. Else you're never going to be successful. And that's just the bottom line. You need to stop being type A, become type B, and remove yourself from the business to work on it.
I think that's so important, man. Like I was talking to Ryan Gallon the other day, and he was just, he's telling me that he has a 15-person team for a $500 million fund, which is insane. But he was able to have his other teammates he was talking to me about keynote insurance. So in some of his deals, he literally gets asked by lawyers, like, what happens if you die tomorrow? And he's like, I'm not going to die tomorrow. And he's like, basically they're like, no, this is a real question that you get asked. And it's like, what happens if you die tomorrow? What happens? And we had it into the military too, where we always made it a joke, I guess, but it's like, you'd be replaced tomorrow, because they have the structure set up to where the system runs. Whereas like if you fucking die tomorrow, in 2 days, everything is back to normal. Like it was like you didn't even exist. And most companies that you think of that are large companies, everyone makes the comment that if you die, or if you get fired, or you're not important to the machine. In a way, it's because they set it up the right way. And as a leader, that's how you need to set it up. So what things are you doing right now to set it up to where you can exit when you need to?
So if I died tomorrow, there would not be a whole lot of direction for my team. Like I don't have a Google Doc that says if Billy dies, do this, but they'd figure it out. Yeah, they're smart. My team does good work.
I think that's part of it, is hiring the right people, right?
Exactly.
It's people who can fill multiple roles. They have a mindset of figuring it out.
Yeah.
As a relatively smaller company, like yes, you're not expected to, if you're not there, like yes, it's not expected that it just goes all the way. But there's certain systems that I think you can set up of SOPs and softwares and outsourcing certain things and making it to where it's the company has word of mouth. It's not directly dependent on marketing and these one singular channels, I think is really important. So I love that, dude. So what would you define as enough business?
Never enough. There's never enough properties.
I love that.
I mean, we can grow exponentially.
What's the 5-year vision for you?
I think in 5 years to be at, Evan Rundle's an operator here in San Diego with like 250 properties. I think that level.
Okay.
He's been doing it a lot longer. He's like 10 years. But to be at 250, I think that's when you're around the 8-figure range.
Okay, yeah. So what changes between a 50 unit Airbnb portfolio and a 250?
Oh, a lot. Because those next 200 properties are just going to be that much higher revenue. I mean, you're thinking 100K plus each property. So 20% of 100K times 200, it's a lot of money. It's like is that $4 million in just pure revenue?
Right.
Like, that changes a lot of things. No, that's wrong. 100K. I mean, even like 10 more properties at 100K each, and that's like average property in San Diego. Right. If you have 4 bedrooms in San Diego, you're gonna make 130, 150 a year.
Yeah.
Jacuzzi, pool, 200K a year, right? So let's just say 10 properties at 100K each. It's $1 million. We take 20% of that. That just increased our total revenue by 200 grand. I mean, the next 20 properties are gonna change my life. The next 40 properties are gonna make me a millionaire. Cash in the bank. I have assets, but I don't feel like a millionaire yet, right?
Yeah.
So that's what's crazy to me. It's like we're already at a baseline now where like I'm cash flowing pretty well. I didn't make money for the first 8 months of hiring employees. I made money like when I started the business March 2024 until October 2024, making like 10K a month passively, like not passively, but I didn't have any employees. I didn't have VAs. I had nothing. It was just me running like at the start 8 properties. And then when I hired my first employee, I had about 18. And then I made no money for 8 months and I lost money. And I just like swiped everything on the Amex credit card and I did cash advances. And I'm like, shit, I overhired.
Right. So you're losing money for 8 months straight. How do you stay in a proper mindset?
Well, because I own vacation rentals, I was supporting myself with the cash flow from those vacation rentals.
Okay.
My wife works. And so we're a team, right? So we were fine. We're okay. Now I'm at a point though, we went 8 months without any revenue from the business. Now the business is making money. It's making a lot of money. I'm making way more than I was as a teacher. I was making more than I was before I hired employees. So I overhired. We grew the business. I just hired more people, but I could afford it now. Like I said, the next 10 to 20 properties are going to change my life. The next 30 to 40 are going to make me a millionaire. 100 properties from now? Shit, like I should have like a team of 10 people 100 properties from now.
Yeah.
I should have a CFO, a VP of operations, VP of sales, and then I'm just up here.
What's your role as you grow?
CEO, but also that means I'm in sales, marketing, social media. That's what I want to be. I want to be in the sales and the marketing and the social media. I've grown this business on my own.
Yeah.
Right? This has just been me in my face and my hands shakes and my words, right?
I have to say too, like meeting you and on the yacht actually before Tulum, you have a personality, and I think this goes back to your the brand, right? Or the word of mouth referrals is when you're somebody who you're just one of those guys that just everyone loves to be around. I think that there's something unspoken about that it's like you will grow, and I think that stems from,
appreciate that.
You can just tell that like you're just a good dude. Like I think that at the end of the day, like whether you're a man, a female, or a woman, a man, it doesn't matter. Being a genuine person and just being, you can tell like you are 100% yourself all the time. And I think that's like such an unspoken thing where, if your company's not growing or you're doing all the business development, it doesn't seem like you're connecting with people. I would assume that it has more to do with you internally being okay as yourself and loving yourself to actually be able to go out and because people flock to that.
Confidence and loving yourself. Usually people end up loving you too. That's the truth, man. I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate it because that means a lot. And that's definitely a big reason why the business has grown in the way it has. Because people like working with me.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Right. People like working with people they like.
Yeah.
And the referrals, anyone is like, they're going to throw you the business. They're going to trust that they can talk to you. And then the person talking to you, they're going to be like, oh yeah, I see why he liked him. And it comes into, it naturally will grow.
If people know, like, and trust you, you will most likely earn their business.
I 1,000% agree. A final question here to close out. Mm-hmm. What are you doing in your life outside of the business itself to make sure that you're growing in the right direction?
I have a business partner that him and I are currently shopping other small business deals to buy and be absentee owners in, to like truly follow an entrepreneurial lifestyle of owning and operating multiple businesses. I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I'm not a CEO.
Interesting.
So my business as the CEO of Elevate Vacation Homes, it's an important job that takes a good amount of my day up, but I have free time. I'm here right now at the park with you doing a podcast. I have time to operate other things and do other things.
Right.
I have a vending machine side hustle still that's fully passive. My vending employee just does everything.
Yeah.
I have a coaching business where I meet with 4 students once a week for an hour. It's great. My CEO position here at Elevate Vacation Homes is very important to me, but I also am realistic. They could pass a law tomorrow and wipe out all the Airbnbs. So I'm not going to put all my eggs in this basket. So as long as that city council keeps wanting to tax and get rid of these Airbnbs, man. I just sat in on a 4.5-hour city council meeting yesterday for the city of San Diego. Yeah. It was awful, man. You'd have these bozo councilmen that think that the STRs are the reason that there's homeless people.
I've done those for the ADU, the bonus ADU program.
Yeah. Oh, they hate the ADUs.
God,
oh my goodness, because they're kind of one and the same. These citizens from the community were standing up, and they had 111 people.
Oh, the whole room was filled.
Oh, it was insane.
Yep,
it was insane. And
were they wearing a specific colored shirt?
They're all wearing these blue shirts, and those were
ours were yellow.
Those are the STR Alliance people. But then they asked some of the people that are against the STRs and also against it. It's funny, the same people that hate the STRs hate the ADUs, hate the bonus ADU program. They hate all of it.
Change.
Yeah, but also we're trying to solve homelessness. But no ADUs, none of this. We don't want ADUs in my backyard. There's no parking. I'm like, why are you so worried about parking? You have a parking garage, dude. Right, like, you live in PB for 40 years. Like, you're fine. So it's like they try and make it seem like, oh, I care about our community. I'm like, you care about yourself. You're being selfish.
Yeah.
And the ADU program is designed to help the housing crisis in San Diego and in California as a whole. Yeah, people. They rope that in with the STR problem. They rope it in with all these wealthy homeowners that are building ADUs, that are converting their homes into STRs. You're the reason that our homeless people are on the street. Mind you, like 70% of homeless people all are mentally ill or have a drug issue, and the other percentage, they want to be on the streets, and they're nomads. They don't want a wall.
They won't talk about it.
They're on their own, man. But they love to point at homelessness and be like, see, this is why when you have 2 homes, it's a problem. So let's ban STRs, and you got to rent your $3 million beach house out to the homeless people. It's like, this doesn't make any sense, dude. This councilman went on this full rant. He even referenced the $100 million sandcastle in La Jolla out of nowhere. And then the first person who spoke was like, that was a random, like, what a great gaslighting move by you to bring up the $100 million sandcastle. It's not even a short-term rental. It's just been sitting on the market for 380 days, and no one wants to buy it because only like 800 people in the whole country can afford to buy a $100 million house. We're not giving out mortgages for that. So it was like this asinine, just like ego-filled room of like, I can't believe some of these councilmen have jobs. It's insane to me. I'm like, how did you get elected, man? You are so full of it. But that's politics, and we're involved in politics. We are involved with housing. We're involved with housing projects and revenue made from those houses. And people, there's this like, it's called this like class, like between the classes, they have like this, they're jealous. It's this class jealousy.
Yeah.
Where like the councilmen are trying to make the lower class super jealous of the upper class. And in reality, 81% of short-term rentals are owned by San Diegan citizens. So they're talking about this big old tax that brings money and revenue to San Diego. I'm like, dude, you're going to lower the revenue for San Diegans. 81% of us own these STRs, me included. So it's ridiculous. They're very out of touch.
But you're touching on something though, and you touched on it at the beginning of it, is even if they go away tomorrow, you still have your brand, right? Mm-hmm. Like your work effort and the fact that people know that you do good work and you're a good person. And I think that anyone trying to grow a business in any way, like,
appreciate
sure, there's a modality that you can use to make money, but at the core, the foundation is like a good culture and a good core value system.
If everything went away tomorrow, I would start over and I would make it happen. I wouldn't just like, oh, poor me, I suck, I failed as an entrepreneur, time to go get a $60,000 a year teaching job again and go back to what's comfortable. It's like, no, that's why I'm shopping around some small businesses. If I lose all my properties tomorrow because Airbnb bans me or the city council bans Airbnbs, I'm going to have some, a senior living care home business. I'm gonna find a car wash business to invest in. I'm gonna find something to bring partners in, investors in, and run the hell out of it and make it profitable.
If people want to get in touch with you, they have an Airbnb in San Diego. What's the best way to get in contact?
Billy Elevates my Instagram. You can find everything there. All my numbers, my emails, everything.
I love it.
Yep.
Cool, man. Thanks for coming on.
Appreciate you, bro.
We'll see you in the next episode. That's it for this episode of the Builder Nation podcast. If it gave you something to think about, hit subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who's leveling up. Until next time, keep building.